Crying in an abandoned inn. If you pass by the old National Highway at midnight, absolutely do not stop at the roadside inn, where a disappearance that no one dares to mention happened. Hung, a long-distance truck driver, was on his way from Saigon to Cà Mau that day when it started to rain heavily. Near midnight, his car suddenly died in the middle of a deserted road, a winding mountain pass with few people passing by. With no phone signal and a flickering flashlight, he decided to pull over at a small roadside inn. The old wooden sign was hung crookedly. The words Thien Tam Motel were only faintly visible, as if someone had intentionally scratched them. Hung stepped in. Inside was dark, with only the flickering light of an oil lamp coming from the kitchen. There was no receptionist, only a skinny old woman sitting by the charcoal stove, chewing betel, her teeth red, her eyes as deep as a charcoal stove that had gone out. She said nothing, just handed him an old key, then pointed up the stairs. The wooden stairs creaked underfoot. The hallway was long. The walls were damp and moldy, mottled with black stains, as if someone's hand had once imprinted them and then disappeared. Room number 4 was at the end of the hallway. In front of the door hung a blurry picture. The frame cracked as if someone had hit it. The room was cold. The light wasn't on but kept flickering as if it was about to burn. On the wall was a large, dusty mirror and a low wooden bed. Underneath it was as dark as a deep hole. That night, it was still raining. Hung had just closed his eyes when he was startled by a choked cry coming from under the bed. A small, wet cry, as if someone was sobbing because of injustice. Hung jumped up, turned on the light, but it suddenly went out. The room was pitch black. He could clearly hear footsteps gliding across the floor, light as a feather, but making a cold, screeching sound. He bent down slightly and saw nothing. But when he turned back, in the mirror, a woman with long hair in a white shirt stood right behind him, her head slightly tilted, her eyes deep black, blood dripping from the corners of her mouth. Hung screamed, rushed out of the room, but the door was locked from the outside. He banged on the door, screaming, when suddenly a woman whispered behind him, "You are also, like him, also chose room number 4. Hung fainted. When he woke up, he found himself lying in a truck cabin on the side of the road. There was no longer any inn. In front of him was only a vacant lot, overgrown with grass and thick fog. Hung ran into the nearby village to ask. An old man's face turned pale after hearing this. "That shop has been abandoned for more than 10 years. There was a girl who was murdered in room number 4. The perpetrator was a driver. He slept there in the middle of the night and then did it. Since then, every rainy night, people heard crying coming from the empty lot." Hung panicked and left that place. But from that night on, every rainy night, he dreamed of that room, that girl, and the mirror, where the ghost was still waiting, staring at him. They say, once you enter room number 4, the girl's soul will remember your face and will never let you go.